So hello everyone, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Daniela Ruiz. I'm a third year PhD student at the Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering Department at the University of California, Irvine. And today I would like to present the above maximum achievable power identified by machine learning for PEM fuel cells, a work that has been developed along with my fellow PEMFCs and my advisor, Professor Wang. So my presentation will be divided into four main parts. First, we will have a brief introduction about the topic and the focus of this work. Then we will cover the methods we used. In the third section, we will describe the main results obtained with the present model. And finally, we will talk about the conclusions made about this work. So let's start. Due to the rapid climate change caused by the global extensive use of fossil fuels, an urge to find reliable alternative energy resources has grown. And among a wide variety of options, polymer electrolyte membrane fuel cells, or as I would like to refer in the next slides, PEM fuel cells, have gained a lot of attention in the past years, as it can be used as a continuously produce electricity with zero pollution emissions when using hydrogen as fuel, but also because this technology can work at relatively low temperature between 25 and 100 degrees C, for having a scale of versatility to power different scale of applications, for being lightweight, presenting a fast startup, and because they can achieve a high power density of around 1,570 watts per centimeter square or higher, and they can achieve high efficiency as high as 65%, depending on the operating conditions and other factors. And the way a PEM fuel cell works is that hydrogen and oxygen get recombined through an electrochemical conversion to produce current. We also produce heat and water, and that's the only reaction product you have. So hydrogen is supplied at the anode, as you can see over here on the figure on your right. And then hydrogen gets oxidized to produce protons, electrons that travel to the other side of the cell by the membrane and the external circuit, as you can see over here and over here, respectively. And at the cathode, oxygen is supplied to react with the protons and the electrons to be recombined to form water and producing heat with this reaction. So the performance of the fuel cell depends on the structure and the design, the materials, and the operating conditions, such as temperature, pressure, relative humidity, the inlet flow of the species, among other conditions. And this means the study of these variables becomes important to predict their effects on the optimization of the process. So you can achieve a higher power density, higher efficiency to produce more electricity. So numerical or mathematical models have been used to analyze these effects, but this makes challenging to solve the type of nonlinear system that results. And that's why artificial intelligence have recently been implemented to help reducing the complexity of this kind of multiphysics models. And it also reduces the computational time and the experimental cost you need to obtain the same results. So artificial intelligence tries to replicate the human intelligence by a computer system. And application of this artificial intelligence is, are the artificial neural networks that are often used for complex nonlinear conditions, just like the case of PEM fuel cells. And they are models working by learning from a given set of input and outputs by adjusting some internal parameters to minimize the error between the target output and the output we already know. So the figure on your left over here shows the basic structure of an artificial neural network, or an ANN, as I will refer it in the next slide. In this case, you can see that it's like the simplest ANN model. It's made from 3 layers: the input layer, the hidden layer, and the output layer. There is a connection from the nodes in the input layer with the nodes in the hidden layer. and each hidden layer node with the nodes of the output layer, as you can see on the figure. The input layer takes the data from the network. The hidden layer receives the raw information from the input layer and process that information, and then the obtained values are sent to the output layer, which also processes the information from the hidden layer and give you the output. And another application of artificial intelligence are the genetic algorithms that are used as a searching algorithm to look for a space of potential solutions to a problem without a mathematical expression. And you do this by considering a search method to look over potential solutions to find the one that solves the problem, or by constructing the solution from the data you provide. So these are very useful tools to be able to predict the behavior, in this case, applied for a PEM fuel cell, to know what are going to be, for example, the performance or the power or the, I don't know, whatever you want to know based on experimental data that you already have. So you don't need to actually test the fuel cell again under the conditions you're interested. You're just variating the parameters and predicting without an actual mathematical model what the output will be. And this will save you time, costs, and a lot of resources. So now to talk about the methods, this work presents a ANNGA integrated method to identify the maximum achievable power of a PEM fuel cell with corresponding operating conditions. The ANN we used is in multi-layer feed-forward network structure that is composed by 2 hidden layers with 8 and 4 neurons respectively. The ANN was tested under 4 input variables considering different values, and thus input values were temperature, relative humidity for both electrodes, anode and cathode, and voltage. And our target output, it was the current density. So we use different values provided from a 3D multiphysics model to have 900 data points to train our ANN. And the figure on your left-hand side shows you what I just explained. The figure on your right-hand side over here shows the ANNGA procedure. So first, you have the original data set, as I mentioned, provided from a 3D multiphysics model. We have 900 data points. You take that, as I mentioned, temperature, relative humidity for both electrodes and voltage to train your ANN. 70% of that data was used for training, 50% for validation, and the rest for testing. Then you create an initial population. You want to make sure that your error percentage is small. And once you're satisfied with the training of your ANN, you use this as a fitness function for your genetic algorithm. And the genetic algorithm optimization returns the operating conditions identified by the ANN for current density and power density. The model is implemented using MATLAB R2020B, using the deep learning and genetic algorithm optimization toolbox including, and as I mentioned, using 900 data points to train the ANN. So to talk about the results now, on your left-hand side over here, this figure over here shows you the comparison between the 900 data points from the original set and the ones predicted from the ANN. And as you can see, it seems they have a good, both sides have a good agreement with less than 1% of error. And on the figure of your right-hand side over here, you can see the results from the ANNGA model. And we are able to see that to achieve a maximum power density conditions, and that it was around 0.77 watts per centimeter square, when we were working under 368.8 Kelvin and relative humidity at the anode of 0.99 and relative humidity at the cathode at 0.78. So these specific numbers were not included in the original data set. So this information obtained from the ANGA model was compared with the one from the 3D multiphysics model, considering these conditions that I just mentioned, this relative humidity, this temperature, etc., to see what voltage and current you could obtain to compare with the voltage. And as you can see on the figure, it seems that both models have an acceptable agreement between each other. So to conclude this presentation, the implemented ANGA model that is available in the literature is considered to explore the performance of a PEM fuel cell for the maximum power and its corresponding operating conditions. The 900 training data generated using a 3D multiphysics model was used to train the ANN, which showed a good agreement with the original data with an error less than 1%. The ANGA model was employed to identify the maximum power, and we were able to see that this power increases with temperature also. And the proposed ANGA method can be implemented in a practical PEM fuel cell control to ensure maximum power operation under varying load conditions. So thank you everyone for your attention. And last but not least, you can find some of the most relevant references over here in case you're interested. Thank you very much.